This is session number 11. Today is May 20, 2024. This is Discovering the Essence of Nonviolent Communication, an open-hearted practice group with Jim and Jori Manske. Welcome, and I turn it to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to see all of you, and thank you for coming to our anniversary party. This is what we're doing on our anniversary to celebrate that we've been together 45 years, and he keeps good track of that. So thank you all for joining us at our party.
Yeah, it's really fun to be here with you and to share some of the, we'll wind in some of the tips that we have discovered over the 45 years together that maybe will help you with your relationships, whether they're romantic relationships or other kinds of relationships, and how requests can help with that. Yeah, so it was May 20th, 1979, and we were pretty, I think that if someone from another planet knew a little bit about the culture of the era and they saw Jim and Jori, they'd say, it looks like a couple of hippies to me. And because I kind of had bushy, kind of long hair, and we probably wore pretty avant-garde clothes. We got married in my parents' backyard.
His mother proposed that we do that.
Yeah, she wasn't so happy about our lifestyle of us traveling around and not being married. So she said something one day like, "You think you guys are ever gonna get married?" I took that as a request. And about 3 weeks later, we got married. We'd only known each other for about 7 months.
But we liked each other, and we still do.
Yeah. So there are a couple of hippies in the backyard passing candles around and wine and you know, it looked a lot like an NVC practice group. And I think it kind of blew my parents' friends and the neighbors away a little bit, you know. This is in the
Our kumbaya.
This is in the deep South of the United States in 1979, and so it's a pretty conservative area, and so I think we stretched a lot of boundaries, and we've been stretching ever since. So
should I go check?
So let me just say thank you all for being here to celebrate with us. And I'm feeling better now than I was a half an hour ago or so. And we'll talk a little bit more about how today's lesson fits in with my upset.
Oh.
And it's a good example of what can get in the way of happiness and relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll be practicing a lot today. We're continuing on the theme that we started last week and the week before around requests. And so we're going to keep on going and have some practices designed for you so that you can get some practice making requests. Mm-hmm. And we'll start with a self-connection exercise, a chance for you to just be with yourself, get really grounded in being here, get clear on why you're here. And then we'll put you in small groups if you'd like to go to connect with friends and to practice living NVC together. Then we'll come back here in a large group and see what happens from there. So that's it for the announcements. Is there anybody that needs to say before we dive into the content of the self-connection exercise and the rest of the class? Okay.
Everybody's ready.
Great. So you can do this exercise with your eyes open or your eyes closed, and you can do it or not do it. We really want to acknowledge your autonomy.
Mm-hmm.
So just look around for a minute and get yourself oriented to the environment that you're in. Just let your eyes go wherever they want to go. Just kind of relax your neck, relax your face, relax your eyes. And as you look around, you can appreciate that this is a very ancient behavior that mammals and probably other animals use all the time to make sure they're safe. So this is you reassuring your nervous system that you're in a safe place. And we'll say relatively safe. Because you never know when a meteor might fall on your head, but you know. But probably in a relatively safe place. If you're not, then please take care of yourself and get to a safe place. And then if you're comfortable, you can just close your eyes. And notice what happens to the sense of hearing when you close your eyes. Many people report that when they close their eyes, they seem to hear more, which makes sense.
Yep.
Because now more of your brain can be focused on processing what you're listening to. See if you can just notice 4 things that you can hear and name them. 4 distinct observations. And then awaken your awareness of your sense of touch. Your whole body is a sensory instrument full of a gazillion nerves, but many of them are focused in your fingertips. So become aware of the fingertips of your dominant hand, if you have one. Most people have a dominant hand. And then use it to explore in a safe way your environment and see if you can name 3 different things that you feel in terms of a sensation or a perception with your fingertips.
Maybe your knees, maybe something else that's in front of you or beside you.
And then shift attention again to aroma, the sense of smell. See if you can become aware of 2 distinct aromas or odors in your environment and name them. And if it's helpful, you can pick up your cup of tea or whatever you're drinking and give it a sniff. And finally, consider the sense of taste. You're tasting something right now. It might just be you, or it might be a lingering taste of something that you just ate or drank. But name what you're tasting. And take a moment to be with your body, the sensations and emotions in your body. You might be having a reaction or a response to this exercise. Just give it some warmth, some gentleness, noticing and then naming sensations and emotions. Then see if you can link these feelings, sensations and emotions. See if you can link these feelings to your needs. What's important to you right now? I'm going to read a poem from Marshall Rosenberg and then send you off to your small group to talk about it. And I'll do my best to put it into the chat. Looks like it's going to have to be in chunks. So staying in this place of what we nickname the 0 step that you're likely to be closer to now. Present. Clear on your intention to connect. Open to outcome. Consider these words from Marshall. From now on is the name of the poem. From now on, I choose to dream my own dreams so that I can fully taste the mystical excitement of being human. From now on, I choose to empathically connect with others so that I can fully respect the unique and holy experience to be found in each person every moment. From now on, I choose to have my actions flow from connection with nature and to direct my attention where it supports this flow. From now on, I choose to be aware of the unchosen, dehumanizing thoughts my culture planted within me, and to prevent them from leading me into robot-like violent actions. From now on, I choose to openly reveal what is alive within me, even though others may not appreciate the gift. From now on, when I'm wearing the title of authority, I choose to be aware that reaching frontiers before others never justifies punitive means to influence them to join me. And finally, from now on, I choose to believe that the failure of our needs to be fulfilled results from insufficient dialogue and creativity rather than scarcity. So I invite you to go to a small group now for 12 minutes. Let's do it for 15. This is such a juicy piece. Let's do 15 minutes. Everybody has 5 minutes to explore what comes alive in you as you consider Marshall's words here. And what's mostly important is what comes alive in you. And use this as a chance to practice NVC together, to speak from your own honesty, from your own self-responsibility, talk about you, and to listen with empathy to your podmates. In other words, to listen with a quality of respectful understanding of their experience without any kind of correction or anything like that. Just let them be. Probably silent empathy is enough for this exercise. And we'll see you back here in 15 minutes, whenever you're ready, Martha.
Yes.
Martha, I missed the message asking me to join. It's disappeared somewhere.
Okay. I will find you and I will send you to a group.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for letting me know. Can you erase your electronic hand, please? So I can see you.
I think she went. I don't see her anymore.
Yes, me too.
Okay, so I see a couple people here.
Most
Ada.
of them have their equal. I'm not on.
Ada is the only one that's.
Hello. Yeah.
Hi, Ada.
Hello. Yes, I
I
will
just
put you
entered.
in a room.
Okay, thank you.
It's room 9.
And Lottie is also not in a room.
Oh,
And,
there she goes.
okay.
And
no,
there we go.
Lottie still hasn't gone.
Oh, she doesn't show up on the list. That's interesting. Let's make sure that whoever's with Lottie
Yeah,
is.
I will Lottie.
She's in
So
group,
yeah,
group 16.
16. I will send another invitation.
Okay.
Yeah. You take that out of the middle so I can see what's happening. Yeah, your stuff. Yeah. Lottie is the only one who has an equal sign, hasn't gone yet. Oh, I think she just went.
Nope, she's right here.
Oh, Lottie.
I
yeah.
resend Lottie an invitation.
Okay. Yeah, she may be
She may be recording for all we know.
multitasking or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. I'm gonna go stretch my legs. Oh,
Sure.
she disappeared.
No,
Oh,
she's
she
right
didn't.
there.
No, she's still here. Okay, great. All right.
Okay, Lottie, if you hear us and you would like to go into a group, please speak up.
Oops. Hi, Dorothy and Allison. Folks are in small groups for about 7 or 8 more minutes. Would you guys like to check in here with us?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi, Dorothy.
Oh, hi there. Yeah, I just joined late, so I'm fine just to wait till you bring the people back from their small group.
Great.
Okay.
Well, if you have
Okay.
anything you want to just share about or anything, we've got a few minutes. So if there's anything you'd like to say,
No, I don't think so, but thanks, Jim. Thanks for checking in.
you're welcome.
Okay.
Welcome.
And Allison, are you there?
She must have walked away. And I'm about to walk away again.
Okay,
I'll be right back.
sure. And Lottie, I see your note in the chat. And hi, iPhone 14 Plus. I'll bet you have another name. If you want to change it, you can. If you need help changing it, let us know. But most folks are in small groups right now, talking about the self-connection exercise that we did. They'll be back in about 7 minutes. If there's anything you'd like to say to get present, we're happy to listen to you. Hi, Mickey, did you fall out of your group? Or maybe you're an equal sign today. Marta.
Hi, Jim.
Hi.
Hi. I was in a small group and my connection fell off. Could you please put me back to
Do
the
you
small
remember?
group?
Sure. Do you remember who you were with?
Yes, but I don't remember the name. One lady was Indian lady and the another lady was from
Was it Annie and Anya? Oh, you're probably, it's pretty alphabetized here. Let's see here. It was probably Monica and Minal.
maybe.
Was it a white woman and an Indian woman?
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's group 19, Marta.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Thank
Mhm.
you.
Ranjit, I think you missed your connection, right?
Can't hear you yet, Ranjit.
Now that he is gone, I understand what he said.
Hi, Surabai. Welcome to the call. I think you're just arriving. If you were in a group and you want to go back to that group, let us know. But it looks like you're freshly here. Most folks are in small groups for another 5 minutes or so. And if you'd like to say anything to check in here, we're happy to listen to you. Thanks for the note, iPhone 14. So, Sarah, Saral, great. I will change your name for you. Make it easy for you if you'd like. Done. Hi, Asta. Welcome to the call. Did you fall out of a group or have you been here or are you just arriving? Can you hear me, Asta? Yeah, I was wondering if you're just arriving or if you fell off the call. Okay, you're just arriving. Great. So everybody will be back in about 3 minutes from small groups. If there's anything you'd like to say to check in, I'd be happy to hear you.
Yeah, I just take some time to arrive.
Great. Allison says she's not hearing her audio. I can see Jim's mouth moving, yet I am getting no sound. Weird. So make sure you check your the volume on your device, whether it's your computer or whatever it is, and make sure that's turned up. And see if that works for you. If it doesn't, then you might need to, of course, I guess we need to type that in for you. So I'm curious, Marta, I just typed something, and in the old days with Zoom, it was very keyboard clacking really came through loud and clear. Did you hear me clacking on my keyboard, or has it been muted now? Good. Yeah, I figured it.
Nothing.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, they've really come a long way since the early days. Here's Ranjit. Can you hear us now, Ranjit? Oh, we can't hear you either. You and we need to put Allison and Ranjit into a group together so they can not talk to each other. Check your down there in the lower left-hand corner of your screen where the little mute button is. There's a little up arrow, and there might be, and then at the bottom of that it says audio settings. Audio settings. Maybe there's something.
Yeah, he says yes.
Okay. Everybody back in 1 minute.
Including me.
Yay, Allison, I'm glad you got it fixed.
Thanks, Jim. Thank you.
Oh, and we can hear you too. All is
You don't want to see me though, right? Not yet. No, not ready yet. Thanks.
You're trying to protect us?
Yes.
I'll trust your discernment.
Oh, good.
Zoom.
Yeah, literally.
I kind of love this part.
Yeah.
All of a sudden we go from just a few of us to
Full room.
80 something people.
Yeah.
How wonderful. Really glad that you're all here. This is the time of the call when if there's anything that is alive in you after that small group, we'd love to hear about it. That'll be the first request. Monica?
Okay, so I'm gonna take it from the poem. I choose to openly reveal what is alive within me, even though others may not appreciate the gift. So I'm wondering, are you, Jim and Jori, are you able to do that? Because I'm not. And if so, how do you do that? Because for me, if I'm vulnerable, I need a safe space.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing it has to do also with the level of security that you've had in various times in your life that have supported you in being cautious.
Yeah. And as for whether I do it all the time,
I didn't mean all the time. I mean, are you able to do that anytime? Because I
Of
think
course.
I've never been able to do that at any time. And how do you do that? That's
Oh,
my question.
you do it by getting a big pair of giraffe ears, which must have fallen down.
There you go.
So you get a big pair of giraffe ears and you install them securely on your head. And then no matter what the other person says, if they say, I don't really like what you're telling me right now, then you hear that as please.
Mhm.
That's all you can hear with giraffe ears. And then you can then follow your own discernment about what you do about that difficult message. You can either empathize with it, or you can just be silent empathy, or you can share your honesty, or, you know, but with giraffe ears, there's no such thing as a judgment. There isn't, even if somebody calls me, and I've been called plenty of names, even if somebody calls me a name, all I hear is please when I have these giraffe ears on.
And I really want to acknowledge that the first impact that you have impact, but then to remember after that, just to allow yourself to feel what you feel, but then also ingrain that reality of that you're okay, that's theirs, you're safe.
Yeah, and here's a radical idea. Start practicing small. You know, say, you know, have a really safe practice buddy and do role plays and say, I want to talk to my fill in the blank with whoever the other person is, and say, I want you to, you know, give me a level 1 resistance to my words so that I can just practice keeping my giraffe ears on, and then do it again with level 2 and level 3. And so that's the suggestion, is just start being really gentle. Don't go to the person that you feel that's your enemy or whatever and share all your pain with them. That would be a steep path.
No, you go to a friend and you ask them to help you out by playing a role.
Yeah. Does that make sense, Monica?
Yeah, that does, Jori. Tomorrow. That's my request.
Great. Yeah, you got a good chance to practice
That's
tomorrow.
right. We have a call tomorrow.
Thank you. And
Thank
Tess?
you.
Yes.
Yes, hi everyone. I think between the lead-in centering meditation and then the small group, in my small group, there was just, for me, there was just an amazing amount of tenderness in my small group. And you know, the topic was kind of sisters and brothers who we dearly love, but also completely aggravate us.
Oh, they didn't do the training. Oh, darn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They did a training, just not this one.
Yeah, right. And so for me, you know, Marshall's poem was kind of it's kind of a vow of living.
Yeah.
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 Exactly.
That's exactly how I hold it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's an aspirational poem. It's almost like you know, a vision. It's a vision of, you know, 500 lifetimes from now or whatever. This is how I really want to show up in the world. And when I get a glimpse of it in this world, in this lifetime, it's just a moment of celebration. And when I fall short of any of those aspirations, it's an opportunity for mourning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Cass. And Sherry. Sherry, are you there?
Sherry.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh,
good.
there. Down there.
First, my big heart of gratitude for the lovely couple after 45 years marriage. You invite us. No, for me, I represent me. Okay. So invite me to witness the life alive. Now I am single with my rich life
as I had my yin yang, okay, male feminism or male side integrated. But of course, I welcome my outside partner someday if come. So thank you for your vivid example.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And I really want to be clear that there are bumps in the road, you know, not to set an expectation that it's always kumbaya, wonderful. You know, being in a relationship, it takes energy, commitment, skills to be able to take care of oneself when the other person doesn't do what we want them to do, or acts in a way that they get reactive and, you know, it impacts us. It's just part of being human.
Yeah, you know, it's like we've been talking a lot the last 11 weeks about spiritual clarity, the 0 step, and so forth. And I think one of the things that's really supported Jori and me, certainly has supported me, is being clear on the purpose of our relationship. Jori and I have a very clear purpose statement that we wrote 45 years ago. And Jori and I also have done probably 100 mediations with couples over the years who are having problems. And we've asked every single couple, what's the purpose of your relationship? And 100 couples have said, huh?
Yeah.
That we've not been trained in our culture to clarify the purpose of a relationship. It doesn't matter what the purpose is, it matters that you have consent on the purpose of the relationship.
And your own clarity.
And that you live from that,
Yeah.
that consensual clarity. And so maybe as the call unfolds, we'll share our agreements with you, our purpose and our vows.
Oh, that's perfect for
I'll go
anniversary.
pull the originals out of the file upstairs to make sure we get them right.
Okay.
So thank you,
Wow.
Sherry. Anything
perfect.
else you'd like to say?
Yes, so I do had a little share.
Mhm.
That's for this part from the poem. From now on, I chose to openly reveal that's alive within me, even though others may not appreciate the gift. So this part I like to share is, for me, I very resonate from Jim Jori, your authenticity. Authenticity for me has gone through when I was born till now, I guess, even to end of my life in the earth. So recently, I do had my close friend or my niece. Those we had some dialogue, stimulate, and then we finish. The other parts, she thought she already expressed me her morning or what kind of thing she give me, and I give. But finally, after weeks, no, I realized, no, there is a deep mourning in my heart, in my cells, not yet flow away. There is something. So then, of course, one part I check with myself, say, hey, go, do you only grasping her? She has to see you or hear you, or it's just your needs. You want to be heard by anybody, by yourself. I see my answer is yes, that's my needs. It's my beautiful needs.
Oh,
yeah.
beautiful.
And then the second question, seems it's still something between me and her, you know. So I imagine, see, if one day I see her, come on, I'm sure there is some barrier. There is something in me. It will be stopping. So whether I tell her, because I cannot pretend nothing, and then let her just express, you know, in her way, it will block our relation anyway. So I chose honest expression by raising a request. So I asked them, I said, I found out there is something in myself. It seems my emotion need some flow to go away. Would you like to witness or be accompanied with me to go through this process, to let my emotion just flow away with me? Then my friend disappeared. So for that part, I see how honest expression is so important. Because if I don't express myself, that's I didn't see her behavior. She needed time. That's why she just cannot come to be accompanied with me. Even that's very firm. It's my request.
Yeah.
That's my small, sweet sadness.
Yeah. Sweet.
More, yes, more than
Mourning.
celebration. I
Yes, your mourning and also your evidence of your openness to outcome.
Yeah, which
Yes.
is huge.
Yeah, so I'm very grateful for your share.
Life-changing to be able to do that. Thank you
Yeah,
for demonstrating that.
thank you. And we'll finish with Dr. Rama.
Hello, Jim and Jori. Hearty congratulations.
Thank you.
So when you mentioned the purpose of marriage, I was reminded of the wedding vows in the Hindu tradition, where you around the fire, you go around 7 times. First, the husband leads, and then the wife leads. And then the priest is chanting the mantras. And I don't know how many people even pay attention and listen, but the purpose of marriage is in those mantras, where together as a couple, we're going to work together to tread on the path of righteousness. We're going to work together to earn wealth, to have a good living, dharma, artha, kama, which is passion, have progeny, and finally is moksha. So we're going to do all these things. So at the end of the day, both of us can be liberated and reach oneness with the Lord. And so, and then there is also one of these, so with the 7 steps, we also have the idea that the marriage is for 7 lifetimes. And so as a new student at Texas A&M University, I met my husband there, and we got married after 2 years after we married. We got married, and then after that, when I first went to the to my primary care physician for a wellness check, she asked, and it was just like maybe 1 or 2 months after my marriage, and she asked, "Are you going to stay in the marriage?" And I was shell-shocked. I was like, isn't marriage for a lifetime? And then, of course, later, as I was talking to somebody, I learned that this is how healthcare providers try to figure out if there's domestic abuse or any kind of problems, if you need therapy or something, mediation. But so that's a good thought. But then the next thing is this whole thing about the purpose of marriage is ultimately moksha, liberation from my own individual limited self. And then the recognition comes that there's no person on planet Earth who can give me true love. Like the only true love you get is when you're on a spiritual path. Okay, and so with that, I pray for both of you, 45 years of marriage. May your journey on your spiritual path accelerate to the power of 45.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And I saw a request in the chat for us to share the purpose. So I will do that because it's the same thing that you just said. Jori and I met at a spiritual community, and the purpose of the spiritual community was spiritual growth. They framed it as to love everyone unconditionally including yourself. And so we took it upon ourselves that we would spend the rest of our lives trying out that aspiration to use everything that happened between us, every moment between us, as an opportunity for our own growth. And there've been plenty of opportunities, you know.
45 years and closely connected, you know.
So it's over 16,000 days and nights together. I did the math last night. And
Wow.
so it's a long,
It's impressive.
it's a long time.
Yeah.
And
And it's work.
yeah.
And it's a commitment to work through whatever comes up, either internally or together.
Yeah. So we keep doing it.
Yeah. And it's not like it's, oh, kumbaya easy to have the relationship. And I'm guessing almost everybody here has been in a relationship, so you know that. But it's a quality of commitment to ourselves and to the other person.
Which is a great lead in to the essence of the class. Thank you, Rama. Are you complete? Great. So I'll share the screen and bring people up to date with, in case you weren't here last week. So first, I want to share this photograph with you that I took about, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago. And so the title of the class is Making Requests to Make a Relationship Work, or something like that. But are any of your expectations not met when you look at that photograph?
Yep.
And if you look closely, you'll see that the water is kind of purple. And I know my expectation when I look at water is that it's blue or clear or green, but not purple. And turned out that because of the weather in Maui and a long spell of warm weather, that there was a bloom of a certain kind of algae that turned the water purple. And people came from all over it'd never been seen here before. And people came from all over to be able to see this, to have their expectations stretched. And so that's a good way of looking at a relationship, is it's an opportunity to get your expectations stretched.
And there's some blue over there. Look at that.
Yeah, there's
On the top, that
little dash of blue. Yeah.
Dash of blue on the left.
Yeah. And so the 2 skills that we've been working on, and I'm not going to take the time to go through this right now because it'll be in your packet. Request consciousness and making requests is one of the skills that we're focusing on, as well as self-empathy, or reconnecting to self and recovering from reactivity.
And for those of you who aren't familiar with that particular format, there's a whole bit with
The matrix,
the matrix of different levels.
So here's a quote from Marshall. I love bringing Marshall into our classes because he was our teacher, and we're agents, I suppose, agents of his mission. We share the same mission. When people hear our request and see it solely as an opportunity to contribute to our well-being, it gives them this opportunity to do what we human beings love more than anything else, to use our power in the service of life. So that's about 25 words or so, I'm guessing. I didn't count them. That's NVC in a nutshell, right there.
Did you put that in the chat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in case people can't see this on their phone or whatever.
Yeah.
So just take that in, and then we'll continue.
And then Marshall has some prayer.
Save a little time here.
Yeah.
So now here comes a pop quiz. I'd like you to put into the chat your answer to the question. If you have any recollection of what we did last week, we talked about 5 different elements of a request. So if you can remember any of them, put them into the chat, and we'll give you a few minutes to think about it. It says specific, present moment, there's clarity, positive, precise, affirmative, be positive, coming from the 0 step, attached to a need, yes.
Openness to outcome.
Yeah, great. I think you got them all. So here they are. They're concrete and specific. They're stated in the positive. Someone taught us last week that maybe a better word is affirmative. I like that.
That
Get
way
it?
we'll remember it.
Present moment, connected to needs, and then this openness to outcome. And then we talked about 3 different kinds of requests. So same request of me to you right now. If you can remember any of these requests and put them into the chat, might be a stretch for your memory and support your integration.
Confirmation.
Wow, the hardest one got for
I know.
first. That's great.
Action. You want to put those in?
And feedback, you got them.
Feedback. There we go.
You got them all. So action request, connection, and which is in the form of feedback, and connection in the form of confirmation. And last week we did some practice with the confirmation request. And so here's an example of confirmation requests. What are you hearing is important to me? What do you catch is alive in me? What feelings and needs do you see in me? Find your own words. There's nothing holy or sacramental about these phrases.
But we're actually asking them to confirm their experience of what we said. That's what we mean by a confirmation request. Did
Yeah.
you confirm what you heard? How this, what was said?
And not as a test of their ability to listen, but rather a test of our ability to share, to be clear. So that's why we're making this confirmation request. And I remember at the end of the last week's class, I said, do this at least once during the course of the week. Did anybody do that? Did anybody actually have an experience of trying a confirmation request during real life and had an experience you'd like to share?
And just a reminder that you own your own experience. I just want to make sure I'm really clear. Would you be willing to tell me what you heard?
Anybody try it? Then I'll renew my request. Do it next week. You'll be doing it today in our practice, which we're going to go to pretty quickly here. All right, so then here's some phrases that you can note for feedback requests. Would you be willing to, which is the classic NVC preamble for most requests. That's actually a feedback request, not an action request, because I'm asking about the person's willingness to perform an action rather than asking them to do the action. So Marshall built feedback requests right into the model, as far as I can tell. How does that land for you? How do you feel when you hear me say that? And again, find your own words in your own cultural way of expressing it in your family or workplace or whatever. And then an action request. Would you pass me the salt? Please hold this for me so I can get the door. Can you brush your teeth now? So these are just asking for another person to behave in a particular way in the service of needs. So now let me, before we go to the next slide, let's see if there's any questions about that. Okay, going once. Yeah. Pooja?
Yeah, quick question. So for example, Jim and Jori, between the two of you, if you're making a decision or a choice for your own self, which is based on owning your own need, but it may have some impact on the other person, then how do you communicate that?
Well, I'd probably go and say, I want to do this. Does that work for you? Something along those lines.
Could be that simple.
Yeah.
And if it was a really complex kind of issue, you might say, there's something that's been on my mind, and like where the kids are going to go to school, or I want to move to Hawaii, or some big decision like that. And I wonder if we can get out your calendar right now and see if we can find a time when we can get together for a couple hours and connect about that. So it might start with an action request and then move to that's what we'll actually be practicing today.
Yeah.
Great.
And you've got two more.
Yeah, Samya?
It's not a comment, but an observation. And do you have time to share that?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. So one of the things I noticed is that during the connection feedback request, after like having delivered feedback to someone, or if I'm the one who's receiving it, and then when they say, hey, how does this land on you? How's this sounding to you? There is literally no guarantee that the other person is going to be honest and tell them how it felt, especially if the situation is kind of filled and packed with power dynamics. And like if psychological safety is not there, or actually any kind of safety, if that's not there, then they're not going to be authentic and honest. And honest self-expression just won't happen. That's something that I realized in recent times when feedback was given to me, but I was not actually able to tell them that I hated every part of the feedback because it wasn't helpful at all. But I couldn't tell them that. And yeah, and it was quite hard. Yeah.
So you used your discernment, which is a pretty advanced NVC skill. You use your discernment to determine whether or not it would be serving life for you to actually answer their request in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also want to say that I sometimes feel like it's not coming from a genuine place of request. It's coming from like a place of, I unloaded all these really terrible things on you in the name of feedback. And I just want to make sure that you're not running away and that you're actually doing the work and that the work gets done and that you're being productive, as opposed to genuinely coming from a place of human connection and saying that, hey, I said some things that maybe was not easy for you to hear. Can you tell me honestly how you're feeling in the moment? You know, there's a big difference between like the first and the second one.
There's a big difference.
Yeah.
How we phrase our request for feedback and what we use, what we do before we make the request, starting with 0, really can matter. And you know, we'll have a session about feedback as we keep going, and the way we deliver our feedback really matters. If we start with the word "you," I can almost guarantee that the other person is not going to enjoy receiving the feedback, because you need oversized elephant-sized giraffe ears. You need elephant-sized giraffe ears in order to hear a request that starts with the word "you." I mean, a feedback that starts with the word "you." And so I don't think that many of us are at that level of being able to hear it yet. So how we phrase it really matters. Tanya, and then we'll finish with Benedict and move on to the practice.
When you asked the question, so were you asking a question? Your question was, did you make a confirmation request?
Yeah.
So how is this? I was at the prison last Tuesday. We did this fairly long exercise, and afterwards I said, how is that exercise for you? And one of the men said, it's